Hello, Jeremy Chambers.
Caleb Chambers.
Luke Chambers. Josh Chambers.
Independence Acres Homestead here. Thanks for joining us this morning. We got a busy day ahead of us today. The boys are going to be working on building a roadside stand to sell some of our squash and zucchini. And I've got a lot of projects here myself to be working on our homestead. Okay, so luckily we live on a fairly busy street right here in our little township, so we should get a lot of traffic here for the boys' squash stand.
Now that we got the stand up, it's time to pick some produce.
So while the boys are out trying to sell some zucchini and yellow squash on the road, my task for the day, Caleb and I are going to be working on pouring a small concrete slab out behind the back of the house to the stairs that go to the basement. Great friend from work gave me about 8 bags of concrete, which was just enough to get the project started, but we had to go buy a couple more bags in order to make sure that we could get this project finished. So we're going to get started in digging out for the form, get the form made, and then after lunch probably work on getting that concrete mixed and poured and finished. So while Caleb and I are out here messing around in the dirt and getting dirty, Shelly and Josh decided it was a good day to make some refrigerator pickles. We picked up some pickling cucumbers from a local farm store, a local farm market, and they're going to be inside making some refrigerator dill pickles. So while we're out here slaving in the sun, what are you guys doing?
Making pickles.
Now that is a big dill. So I'm not even going to pretend this is a how-to video because I'm not an expert when it comes to laying concrete. But there's a couple things that if you're going to do this yourself that you need to remember. Number one is that anytime you're going to be putting a concrete slab up against the house, you need to make sure that you put up some expansion material so that as the concrete slab expands, contracts in hot and cold, that it has room to move against your foundation. The other thing you want to make sure you do is that you pitch it away from the house so that it's not causing the water to drain against your foundation. Last thing you want is for anything that you do as a DIY project around your house to turn into issues where you're going to have professionals come in and fix it later. Okay, so we've got the form built for two sides. So now for the two sides that are against the house, we've got to first strike a chalk line from one end to the other. We're going to go ahead and throw a level on that, make sure we have about a ½ inch drop in this 6-foot run here. And then we're going to go ahead and apply the felt on that chalk line. And so the felt is going to be what we're going to use to run our screed board across the top to make sure we get a nice even concrete top. Okay, the last two things we need to do before starting to pour concrete, now that we've got the form ready, is we're going to put some aggregate underneath. Now you could use gravel, crushed concrete. What we've actually got is we've got some like 2.5-year-old bags of concrete from when I poured the sidewalk a few years ago that's been sitting in our tent garage for a little while, and that's gotten some moisture in it, so it's not good for actually making concrete, but it's gotten nice and hard, so we're breaking it up and using it as aggregate. We've also got some broken up cinder block from around the property here. We're going to use that as our aggregate. Get the aggregate in, and then we're going to go ahead and just lay in some pieces of rebar just to give a little bit of extra strength once we get it ready to pour. All right, we've got the form done. Lunchtime. Check out the pickle making, and then it's going to be time to come back out here and mix and pour concrete. Cucumbers have been sliced, dilled, and garlicked, and now we're just waiting on the brine to get ready for these awesome refrigerator pickles. So we had a busy day here on the homestead. Got some pickling done, some concrete poured, sold all the squash at the squash roadside stand that the boys put out. Now all we have left to do is to do a little picking in the garden and maybe a little bit of barbecuing. Thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any updates here on the homestead. And as always, God bless.